My opponent this game will be RatzDeezer, 253 and 154, 925 points, ranked 59 in Grandmasters. Hello everybody, I am Psy and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we have another Deezer game, and I know the last Deezer game I was like, I don't really want to keep on showing these Deezer games because I just beat him too much and it's not even fun. But you guys were like, no man, we love Deezer games, we want to see all these, so I did bring you another Deezer game. It's on the Shattered Temple, and this one goes a little bit differently than a lot of the other Deezer games. That's not a spoiler, I promise, but you guys will enjoy it. Now, if you're not familiar, Deezer is a stream sniper, and what that means is he will look on Team Liquid for people who are streaming their ladders. So basically, myself, Cats, Destiny, people like that who are just consistent streamers, and then he'll search for games at the same exact time as that person in an attempt to get matched up against him. And he got matched up against me, and what he does is he puts up the stream on his second monitor, so he'll be watching my stream to cheat and see everything I'm doing while he's playing. So what people have started doing when they go up against these people who are known for stream cheating is they'll black out their streams, and so all Deezer can hear is my voice and the sound of the game. So that's exactly what I've been doing this game. So while he can still hear some game sounds because I don't want to turn those off, he can't really gain a lot of benefit from actually watching my stream. So there is that. So this guy is a stream cheater, so that makes everybody hate him. He's just a terrible person all around, and he's actually not that good without cheating. You saw his record is pretty good in Grandmasters, but he's not a very good player. As you saw in the beginning of the game, I was like 5-1 against him or something like that, and I'm looking to extend that here in this game. Now, this is the second game I will have played him today, and the first game I ended up beating him pretty easily. So this is game number 2, and he is going Forge first, denying my expansion. And he's really stupid. That's the thing. He's really stupid because he will Forge first and then not get cannons a lot of the time, even though he sees my spawning pool up at 11 pool, and that's what I did. 11 pool, 4 lings are on the way. Now this game he is getting a cannon. Last game he nexused and it didn't go so well for him, and he's still blocking off this expansion, and he should know there's no reason for him to do this when I go in 11 pool, but he does not. He's not a very good learner of the game. He doesn't realize that at 11 pool, I don't give a shit if you're going to block off my base with your probe like that. You can build a pylon, and it's actually better for me because I can kill that pylon so fast. See, look at this. Pylon going down, he barely cancels it in time. It doesn't really delay my hatchery at all, and his probe goes down. So if you're a Protoss going up against an 11 pooling Zerg player, don't even try to block off. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to block off with a pylon or anything, really. So that probe goes down, and normally you want to keep that probe alive as a Protoss player because you can send it around the map and place some proxy pylons and stuff like that. But it is dead, and now I'm going to have a nice little contain on him outside of his base, preventing any probes from getting out. And what this means is I don't have to worry about scouting the entire map for a probe. Now, he could have sent one out already. It's possible. I have no way of knowing, but I kind of feel like he didn't. Just kind of guessing, and I'm hoping. So I'm going to be containing him right here. It's sometimes a good idea to patrol your links back and forth because sometimes a probe can slip by down here or slip by up here, but I'm just going to keep him out here. So that I have these 4 lings, I've got the map control that I need, so I'm just going to be droning up for a long time. I'm not going to worry about gas because the idea of this build is to get a quick macro hatch or a quick third, get the gas a little bit later, and get your mineral economy going really nicely. And see, this is exactly what I mean. He can't get a probe out. Get your mineral economy going nicely, and you'll find that even though you went 11 pool... Uh-oh. Oh, come on, Psy. Come on, there we go. Okay, I was going to say, how do you not see that probe? You want to send 1 ling after it. Yeah, you just want to prevent the proxy. You don't want to send all your lings. I want to make sure he doesn't slip another one out. But you get your mineral economy up and running, and then you get all your gases at once, and then just beat them with superior macro, I guess you could say. So this probe was looking to put up a proxy pylon around here, but because I sent 1 ling out at him, it's just going to be a sacrificial probe. He's not going to see anything. He's played me so many times, I don't know why he still even bothers to scout me. He knows what I'm going to do. And it does go down. So now 2 probes going down for Deezer so far. The harvester count now 33 to 28, so I am ahead despite not going hatch first or something more economical. And now I'm picking up my geysers. So these geysers are a bit soon, and I've had a bad habit of doing this a lot lately, is I'm getting my geysers too soon. You want to get it around 40. It looks like I got it around 36 because 4 geysers would reduce my drone count by 4, but it's not too far off, so that's fine. It's not going to make or break my build order or anything like that. Now, one thing I want to note, when I sent my Zerglings in, I saw the Forge was moving, and I saw he was chrono boosting it. This usually means no Stargates or Dark Templar play, because he had to spend 100 on that Geyser. I am sending this Overlord in as well. He had to spend 100 on that upgrades. So that's going to take away from any Void Razor or Dark Templar he might have. Plus, I'm sending this Overlord in, not saying anything too revealing at all. Second gateway on the way for Deezer, Lair on the way for me with my first 100 gas, second 100 gas getting that Zergling speed. There's the macro hatch, and this is really a point in the game when I might want to consider getting, 8 to 10 more Lings to try to bust down these rocks or bust down these rocks. But you can always expand right here, so this might not be an issue. Here comes the Twilight Council for Deezer. These Lings still preventing any probes from coming out, so this is always good. And he's got one Stalker on the way. I mean, look how slow a Protoss fast expansion, gets started up. He's still only on 2 gateways. He's just out building a robotics and 2 more gateways. And it just takes him a long time to get started. And this could be a third base if it was another map. I chose to make it a macro hatch instead. My lair is almost complete, and still, I've not made very many Lings at all. I'm ahead by 9 on the harvester count. And I'm just now getting some Lings. So chrono boosting that +1 is going to be starting +2 soon, I'm sure. Is it going to start? He just completed his upgrade. Blink is on the way. Stalker's working on these rocks up here. And now he's going to be going for this other Overlord. I am scouting and seeing that he's getting a robotics bay and 3 more gateways. So I'm not really worried about air. And I am going in an infestation pit. This Overlord is getting a bit too eager. That's a miss rally right there. These guys are flying where they shouldn't be. But I do see his heavy gateway, and I see the 1 robo, but I don't see the Twilight Council, so I might be thinking like 4 gate, 2 robos or something like that. I'm not really sure what he's doing at this point, but Mutas would have been a good idea. Muta Ling is actually really good against Blink Stalkers, believe it or not. You wouldn't think it, but they are, because they're both faster than Blink Stalkers, so if he is out of position with his Stalkers, I will be able to clean up his forest. So these Lings are out in the field now, busting down these rocks. +1 is on the way. Infestation pit instead of that Spire, because I wasn't sure what he was doing, and I feel like he knows that I like to do that Spire play. And a lot more Lings on the way as well. So there's no real point in making more drones until this hatchery is more close to finishing, because 55 is just fine on 2 bases. He does complete the destruction of those rocks. +1 attack almost finishing. Pathogen glands are up, waiting for some more Overlords to start making more Infestors. There we go. 6 Infestors on the way. And, Infestor Ling, also good against Blink Stalkers. This Overlord, again, misrallied. It's going to go down. So already losing 3 or 4 Overlords due to misrally. A lot of Lings out in the field. And, what I have to thank for these Lings being out, so many of them being out, is this macro hatch. Macro hatch is so darn important in PvZ, ZVP. That's why my record is so good against Protoss players. Well, those Stalkers look really dark. It's kind of cool. So I'm just waiting on my Infestors, and this could be a good time to take down these rocks right here, because I should expect him to expand here. He's obviously not expanding here because I have a Ling there, and right now he's just grouping up some Stalkers, and he's actually getting a Templar Archive. It's a great counter to Mutas, or not Mutas, but to Infestors. And is he going to see these Lings busting down the rocks? If he's looking at the rock health, or he's listening, he will be able to see the Lings doing this. There, now he can see it. And these Stalkers are going to come up. Wow, why do these Stalkers look so dark? It's weird. So he does see it. He's going to pick away at these Lings. Luckily, the Lings are +1, so they're doing pretty decent damage against these rocks. I'm going to be forced to pull them back a little bit. Not really doing a whole lot with my army right now. I actually am getting Neuroparasite, and the reason for this is because I saw this robotics facility. I thought maybe I would try to Neuroparasite Colossus. I know it's a silly concept, but I decided to try it anyway. And it's actually going to come into play a little bit later. The expansion is almost complete, 76 to 62. Don't really need any more Harvesters. Got to be careful not to overproduce Harvesters as a Zerg player. So I'm at 77 now, and I really want to bust down these rocks. I'm setting in my Infestors as well to fungal growth once I get up there, and I'm only losing a couple Lings here per wave of shots from the Stalker. So I feel like if I can bust up here, I will have the unit advantage. If we check our production tab, he's not really making any more units. He's waiting for another round of Warp Gates. Oh, and here come the High Templar. Plenty of energy, storming every single Ling. Oh my god. Killing all but 3 Lings. Great timing on those High Templar by Deezer, and that is a huge blow against my army. Now starting a Spire as well. And, you know, the Spire is just for Colossi or something like that. Maybe Mutas to pick out the High Templar. But that was a pretty big blow. I do have my third base up, now taking my fourth base. Harvester's now looking pretty good, 75 to 72. But I need to make something happen. If I let him max out and I don't do any damage, and I don't have T3, it's going to be very bad. And he's actually got an observer on top of my lair just to see when I do get T3, so he can just push out once that happens. Because that usually means Zerg don't have high supply. They're waiting for T3 to start getting some. But another attack coming in here. More Zerglings reinforcing. They need to get up in there. Tons of Infested Terrans being spawned. They're going to take out the cannons easily. Maybe even take out the Nexus. These Templar do have a Storm left in just a couple seconds here. And these, the cool thing about these Infested Terrans is they are so good against Zealots, because Zealots just run right into them and all get mopped up. See, look at this. Look how fast those Zealots die. And also, I'm not losing any money from this happening. I'm losing energy, not money, except if the Lynx die. So I actually did quite a bit of damage there, killing a lot of Zealots, maybe killing a couple probes, killing some cannons. These warp gates aren't active, and now the Lynx are going to follow it up now that the gateway is dead, and he's forced to transmorph, I guess that might be a word, morph these Templar into Archons, which is good for me, man. I don't mind fighting Archons. Templar are much more annoying. One of those Archons going down. These Lynx now wreaking havoc in the mineral line up here while these Infested Terrans distract. And now these Lings are going to be running out. No, more Lings running in to try to decoy so these Infestors can get away. And Lings are expendable, man. Oh, but a nice blink from Deezer. Picking off 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 Infestors. No, he is going to back off. Excuse me. And I took that time to finish off even more probes and also get 17 drones. So not so aware of my own drone count here. Looks like the Hive is on the way. The +2 armor, or +1 armor on the way. And yet another macro hatch. This is extremely important. I cannot stress enough how important macro hatches are in all matchups. So darn important. Harvester's now 91 to 54. But Deezer, and Deezer didn't really get up to his 200 mark. I was able to stop him short, and now it's looking pretty good for me. If we look at the Harvesters, 89 to 57. This fourth base is on the way, preparing to take this fifth base, I would assume. And I've got a lot of excess money due in part to this gold base, which is nicely saturated. And so on. And this is why I got the Spire, because I was planning on getting Corruptors, because I figured he'd be reaching that Colossus count eventually. He's got 3 of them out right now. Not the best saturation due to some nice Ling harass. And an Ultralisk Cavern on the way. You have a Spire, you have Corruptors, but you're getting Ultralisks. A very, very interesting decision. I cannot say exactly why I made this decision instead of getting a Greater Spire, but I did. So there's that. And you're going to see what happens with that decision. Pathogen or Adrenal Glands on the way now. Looks like he might have killed a Zergling or 2 right there. But he's reaching that mark, man. 158 to 186. I am saving some supply, as much supply as I can anyway, for some Ultras. But they're not going to have amazing upgrades. They're going to be, looks like they're 2-1 right now. There's the Greater Spire, but the Greater Spire is late compared to the Ultralisk Cavern, compared to when the Hive completed. And it looks like Deezer is now moving out. And this is exactly what I mean. Deezer wants to move out when he sees that I'm going T3 Tech. And he sees that Greater Spire, and he's probably thinking, you know, I need to attack now. He doesn't quite see the Ultralisk Cavern, so that's good for me. So I've just got a nice little army here. These Lings are nearly useless against this Templar Colossus army. I thought he was going to move out, but I guess not. 2 Ultras on the way. Adrenal Glands almost complete. +3 attack on the way. Chitinous Plating on the way. 4th base on the way. Oh my gosh, on the way, on the way. And now I am trying to free up some supply, but it might be a little bit too late. And I really want to slow this part down, because you're going to see a big, big mistake. First of all, Ling's not going to do anything against his army. He is feedbacking a lot of these Infestors, and there are a couple Fungos going down. I'm trying to Neuroparasite some Templar to feedback or Storm. I'm trying to Neuroparasite some Colossus, but it's not really happening. These Corruptors are doing an okay job. There's 2 Colossus getting Neuroparasite, doing a little bit of damage to his Zealots, but look how fast they die. Still, yeah, 1 Infestor Neuroparasiting, and it just wasn't pretty, losing a lot of Templar with pretty much full energy. And he walked right over my army. I'm making 7 Ultras and 114 Lings, though. Ultras might do a little bit against this army. They have their +2 attack, but Deezer's telling me to get out. He says I'm bad, but he doesn't know how many Lings are on the way. 2 Ultras steamrolling right in these Stalkers. Lings on the right side. So many units rallying in. They're not stopping, storming his own units to try to take out my Lings. A lot of Lings going down, but there's more on the way, and everything just evaporated, man. I don't know what happened there. Honestly, I knew I was rallying a lot of units. I did not think those units would die so damn fast. And that was just crazy. I think that was adrenal glands with +2 lings. I don't even know, but those ultras were tanking like bosses. And then, obviously, I'm feeling pretty good. It's 195 to 93. I have to talk shit of my own, man. I have to talk shit because he's talking shit like he won the game, and I just rolled right over him. And, you know, ultras, I know I'm being extremely hypocritical when I say this, but I think they might be kind of good against toss. They might be kind of good against toss if you have tons of lings supporting. Maybe it's just some lings, but I don't know. 5 more ultras on the way. My macro's still looking great. 77. I think he did pick off a couple drones here, but I'm steamrolling through the gold base. Down goes the gold base. +3 attack, almost finished. Going to be following it up with armor, and 7 more ultras on the way. And this is what hatcheries will give you. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have several hatcheries, several macro hatcheries, and injecting at each one. Notice I have a queen for each hatchery. It's worth the 2 food to get that extra larva. Now I'm attacking his third base, which is being defended now by some Zealots and some Archons, and I'm going to take this opportunity to do another attack as his natural. At this point, it doesn't really matter if I'm doing all these tricky, like, multi-pronged attacks. He's so far behind, it's almost maxed out foods for me. 102 for him, +2 armor on the way as well, and I'm just going to continue to inject. There's the injects right there, and just continue to rally lings and ultras, and I should be able to take this game. He's not getting any armor, so that's kind of a mistake. I don't understand why Protoss players don't get armor and shields. I mean, especially after the change where they made it a lot cheaper, and Deezer does end up leaving the game. More lings swarming into his expansion here. He was down to 43 harvesters, and ultras doing the job there. Now, you might be wondering, like, well, you had some ultras out, but what if you just had broodlords instead of all that other stuff? I think he would have killed the broodlords, to be honest. I think he would have blinked in. It's really hard to say what would have happened. It was just kind of chaotic. I had terrible infestor control and stuff like that. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. I feel like the macro was pretty sick as far as the larva count. What was it, like 7 ultras and 100 something lings? That's a lot of freaking larva. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, as always. And thanks for watching.